He's got 0 sacks allowed. He has 0 sacks allowed from 2020 to 2022. He has basically an 80% grade rating from PFF through those 3 years. He held up against Jalen Carter, who was arguably the number one prospect coming out of the same draft that he was. And it's kind of crazy to think about that, right? He held up against one of the best, top 5 arguably players in this most recent draft, and yet he was picked in the second round, in the late second round. Just kind of shows you where NFL teams put their stock in terms of like positions. And I think guards are really undervalued position, and I think that's why this is a really sneaky good pick. Some people are like, yeah, he's a guard, and other people are like, he's a guard. Undervalued. Anyways, I already mentioned this, but I really do think he's got the ceiling to be, I guess the floor right now to be an immediate impact starter. I think he's an upgrade over Ryan Bates, and that's no shade to Ryan Bates, like whatsoever. I just think that O'Cyrus Torrence brings like this nasty edge to him and can anchor really good. And I'm going to get to all that stuff, which is part of his strengths. But I got to talk about this technique, man. And I watched a lot of it. And this man creates a bunch of torque that moves defenders. And the reason why he can do that is that he really gets down to the low to high technique. He starts from the bottom, works up. At some points, you see him put his helmet basically in an armpit and then work his way up. It's like amazing. And then you pair that with his heavy hands. They are so heavy. It's very evident. So like there's a rep where he's in, I believe, Jackson Kruger's video of O'Cyrus Torrence, where he's up against Jalen Carter, and Jalen Carter has super fast hands and goes laterally by O'Cyrus Torrence. Remember the weakness I already mentioned. You got to attack him from going side to side. That's what Jalen Carter did. But O'Cyrus made up for it with his pure strengths by putting his hands on him while he was going off to his side, and was able to basically create this wall so Jalen Carter couldn't get to Anthony Richardson, who I believe threw for a touchdown on that play. These hands are so heavy, and he's so strong. Another strength of his is that he's so nasty at the line. That attitude it's kind of like what you thought John Feliciano was going to bring to the Buffalo Bills. But I just don't think John Feliciano is O'Cyrus Torrence. He's not. O'Cyrus is just nasty, and he finishes the play. He brings players down to the ground. He doesn't care who you are. He don't care if you're a linebacker, safety, other lineman. He's bringing you to the ground, and he's finishing the play. And probably the most important thing of all, which Brandon Beane specifically said this is probably what he does the best, is that he anchors really, really well. He uses his hands to anchor well. If that doesn't work, he uses his legs to anchor well. And if he can't do that, he uses his body to anchor well. He can use his entire, he unlocks his full body to anchor, which is amazing. Think about the people that we face in our division. Christian Wilkins, Barmore, Quinnen Williams. We need a guard that can anchor against some of these defensive tackles that are in our divisions. It's that simple. We need to protect Josh Allen. Fastest way to the playoffs, win your division. How do you do that? Neutralize their best players. What are their best players right now? I'd argue defensive tackles. How do you go against that? Get yourself a guard. A good one. Okay? Really, really happy about it. And I already mentioned this about the Jalen Carter thing. Another strength is that when he does get blown by, he creates this wall after he gets beat. And you can see that consistently on the film. It's amazing. Even when he gets beat, he gives himself a second chance. And I really think that's super, super valuable. Especially with a guy like Josh Allen who likes to manipulate the pocket. This is going to give him some time to keep his eyes down the field and create something special.